So we're gonna add these guys here on the left. So we're gonna use position absolute for that as well. So I'm going to add another division here. And we can call this, I'm going to give it an ID. Let's call it social. Yeah, well, it could be a class, it could be an ID. In this case, I mean, just to start using IDs, we haven't used IDs that much. I'm going to use an ID at all. IDs can only be applied to one element, not too many. So, yeah, classes could be shared. I can add class to many different, like clear float, right? I have many clear floats, but the ID can only be applied to one. And IDs are going to be very useful when we start looking into JavaScript, because JavaScript will want to find a specific element, and if I have an ID for that element, I can target it very easily. Okay, then if I have a class, then which one of all the elements with that class I want to use. Right? So IDs are useful in JavaScript. So we're going to give it an ID. ID social, and inside I'm going to have different divisions. With the each division will have one for Facebook, one for Twitter, one for Pinterest, and one for the email. Okay, so each division, then I'm gonna give them a class or an ID. Class FB for Facebook, another one Twitter TW, Pinterest PT, and email, just email. Okay, so let's start with Facebook. Okay, we'll have as a background the Facebook image, which I have right here, Facebook sprite, and that one is a PNG. So URL images / Facebook sprite.png. Okay, and if I show it just like that, oh, sorry. Oh yeah, it's a background, right? And I just have a bunch of divisions that they don't have a width, they don't have a height, so we cannot see anything. So I'm gonna give them a width. I'm gonna give Facebook a width. This one is 132 by 65. So 132 pixels by a height of 65. Okay. There it is, right? So do the same for the other buttons: Twitter, Pinterest, and email. Twitter, Pinterest, and email. I guess this one will be Twitter sprite, Pinterest, and email. I'm just going to double check the names: Facebook, Pinterest, mail, not email, mail, and Twitter. So this is mail. Okay, there they are. Do you see how trendy bees remain in the same position? Absolute. While the rest is just going down. Okay, so they are all inside my ID social. So I'm gonna give the same width to social and a position absolute. right? So by default, top 0, left 0, and that's where they are. Now, the sprite is supposed to show only one part of my background, right? And on hover, show the other part. Which means that the width shouldn't be the width of the whole image, just half of the image. And the rest will be hidden. So I'm going to choose, so the half of 132 will be 66. No. That's, yeah, exactly 66. So let's see. Okay. But I want them to be at the beginning, initially, I want them to have the black and white version. And on hover, to show the color version. So instead of just showing the color, I'm going to have to change the position. And the position, you can change it here. So, for example, if I choose minus 66 pixels, that is horizontally, and vertically 0, remain where you are. Vertically remain where you are, but horizontally minus 66 pixels. And I'm going to apply this to all of them. I see the black and white version. Okay, I'm going to show you live how it works. Minus 66. As I change 66 to something else, look how I moved my sprite. Right? So that's actually what I'm doing, moving the sprite. Do you see how after one color the other one starts? That's because it's repeating. A background repeats itself, right? Unless I choose something like, let me bring it back to 0, something like no repeat. Then in that case, where is it? I made a mistake somewhere. Okay, then in that case, the Facebook one, as I move it, it doesn't repeat. I just have it once. Okay. Alright, so minus 66. I moved my background to the exact position where I want it. Now, if I want to change that image on hover, right, I just have to bring it back to 0. On hover, bring it back to 0. So, the Facebook button on hover bring the background back to 0. Yeah, see the other color. Okay, so I'm going to apply these to all of them. Alright? So on hover they change color. Alright. Now, if you see here in the original, they're actually a bit more out of the screen to the left. So the whole division of social, position absolute, first of all from the top, I want to move them down. Right? So that would be, yeah, let's say 150 pixels. So from the top, 150 pixels. And from the left, I want to hide them. So minus, let's say, 10 pixels. There they are. Okay, now they will always remain on the left. So imagine that my screen is actually bigger. They're always on the left. Right? When I put the mouse over, let's say they are links. So I want them to act as links. So the cursor should change. Right? So on hover, cursor, pointer. That is going to make them look like a link. You see the mouse now? The cursor looks like a link. Okay. Then also on hover, I want them to move a bit to the right. So on hover, I'm going to add to each one of them a margin left of 7 pixels. Right? There you go. I could move them completely to the other end by saying right minus 7. Instead of left, right minus 10, sorry. There they are. What's happening? Oh, no, social still has a width of 132. It's supposed to be 66 pixels. They were from the right. Look, they are actually on the right at minus 10, but the width I forgot to change it. They're still at the width still 32. Now it has to be 66. There they are. Now as well, minus 10. The same effect. Now obviously also the margin is moving towards the other end, but that's the idea. Okay. Now if I scroll down, they stay there. Okay. And many times these kind of elements, you want them to follow you. So instead of position absolute, we're going to change it for something called fixed. And that is going to fix it to the screen in that position, but will follow us. Okay? So remember, position absolute it doesn't matter the size of the screen, it will always remain there. If you want to position something in the middle with position absolute, don't use pixels, use percentages. So if the screen changes size with the percentage, you know, for example here, it will always be 50% from the left minus half of the element, and that will assure that that element will remain in the middle. That's the case of trendy bees. While the others, they're always there, position absolute, or position in this case fixed, minus 10 pixels from the left. They will always be there, they don't move. Alright, percentage will follow your screen, while the exact amount of pixels will just remain there.